In this video, we will be demonstrating how to apply the short arm and long arm cast. We start off with a 2-inch stockinette. We apply it over the area of the cast. Go ahead and make a cut here for the thumb. You then want to have the arm in the desired position in order to start the cast. The short arm cast should start from the distal palm or crease and extend to the forearm's proximal third. The wrist should be in a neutral position and slightly extended. Remember to watch for radial or ulnar deviation. You can apply the stockinette over the thumb for a thumb spica. Now if we were doing a short arm cast, we can roll down the stockinette and expose the thumb. We start off with 2-inch padding and wrap it around the wrist. Go ahead and make a little tear here at the bottom of the padding in order to lay it down in the web space in between the thumb and index finger. As you notice, every time we have the padding down in between the web space, we'll make that little tear. As we wrap the wrist around this time, you notice after we cover the thumb, we'll make a tear again, but this time we'll lay it down in the web space in the opposite direction from earlier. We'll go ahead and wrap around the wrist, make another tear, and lay down the web space like we did the initial time in that direction. As we continue to apply the padding, we must remember to keep the patient in the correct position. As you can notice, we are overlapping one half of the prior layer as we go proximally up the forearm. This is the proximal border of the short arm cast, and we usually double pad this area. This adds comfort for the patient as the fiberglass can dig into the skin in this area. When we add the second layer as we pad back down the arm distally, we are no longer overlapping one half of the prior layer. Now this completes the padding for the short arm cast. In this portion of the video, we are layering the padding for the thumb spica. The thumb spica cast should cover the interphalangeal joint of the first metacarpal and extend up to the proximal third of the forearm. The wrist should be in 25 degrees of extension with a thumb in a position of function. Remember to keep the patient in the desired position. That is the padding for a thumb spica cast. Remember with a short arm and thumb spica cast, the cast should extend up to the forearm's proximal third, approximately 2 to 3 finger breadths below the antecubital space. At both ends of the short arm cast, we would take the 3-inch padding and fold it in half, and then pad the end right here. Similarly, take the 3-inch padding, fold it in half, and pad the distal end of the cast at the distal palmar crease. We now move on to the long arm cast. We place the stockinette up to the AC joint and 2 finger breadths distal to the axilla. Note, for a long arm cast, we used a 3-inch stockinette. For the short arm cast portion, we used a 2-inch stockinette. For a long arm cast, we should have the elbow in 90 degrees of flexion with a neutral wrist in a slightly extended position. The cast should start from the distal palmar crease and extend approximately at least the mid-humerus. In this view, we go closer to AC and axilla. As we pad down towards the elbow, you have them rotate the arm like this while maintaining the 90 degrees of flexion at the elbow. As we pad the elbow, we can make little tears here to help the padding lay down a little more flat. If the padding is wrapping around proximal to the elbow joint, we should make a tear at the bottom of the padding. Now if the padding is wrapping around below the elbow joint, we should make a tear at the top of the padding. As we apply the padding at the humerus, you can see here that we do a 50% overlap over the previous layer. Here we take the 4-inch web row and add a couple of layers in order to add more padding to the elbow for more comfort. Remember to keep the elbow at 90 degrees of flexion. We're just adding some more padding for comfort. Here we add the proximal padding. This completes the padding for a long arm cast. We can now reposition the arm and make sure that the patient is still in the desired position. Watch for radial and ulnar deviation. We're going to start with a 2-inch fiberglass tape. Remember to submerge the fiberglass tape with cool water. We start here at the wrist and work distally towards the thumb. The layers are overlapping 50% of the last layer. We make an L-shaped cut in the fiberglass to lay the splint across the web space. We do another L-shaped cut, again to lay over the web space. This would essentially complete the distal end of the short arm cast. Now if we were to do a thumb spica, we would make another L-shaped cut as you see here and wrap the thumb. As we wrap the interphalangeal joint, we can make another L cut, but this time cut up half of the fiberglass tape and then wrap it around. You can add one more layer on top of the thumb with another L cut, looking wrap down proximally with 50% overlap over the last layer. If we stopped here, this would complete the short arm thumb spica cast. As we start the long arm cast, we'll have the patient hold the distal end of the cast like this and try not to make any pressure points. We wrap the elbow like this. We can do the fan fold at the elbow here to add strength to it. As we wrap down the long arm cast, we are no longer doing the 50% overlap. Now we're just laminating the long arm cast. Here we're doing the interosseous membrane mold. Remember to watch for any radial or ulnar deviation. This completes the long arm cast. I'd like to give a special thanks to Frankie Salazar and the West Coast Sports Medicine.